This is Fight Court, ladies and gentlemen. We are not live, but I'm live. And I got my man Ryan Quinn in the house, but it's not about us. It's about our guest of honor, victorious over the weekend at the UFC Fight Night. I was there in attendance watching the whole thing go down. I love to introduce Sam Hughes. Sam Page, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Well, it is our pleasure for you to come on. I thought you had a great fight. It was a wonderful fight, back and forth. When the decision was read, how confident were you that you were the victor?
I was 100% confident. I told Coach Safe that I was so sure that I won. I knew I had the first round, and for sure I knew I had the second round. I thought actually a couple judges might judge that second round 10-8, but one did. So, but that's okay. I was going to get my hand raised though.
Well, again, congratulations. I thought it was a great performance. Safe. So at one point when I think of Safe, like he's this hard dude, right? He's like yelling at everybody. And then I see him sometimes he's kind of sweet and he's kind of soft to some. Nowadays, like I think now he got kind of, I don't want to say he got soft, but to some of the fighters, he's kind of sweet. How is Safe towards you?
It's so funny. He is hard in the gym. Man, those rounds, I think the rounds in the gym are tougher than the actual fight. So he's honest. He's super, super hard. But he told me that I know whenever you do the work, he's going to be less hard, not yell at you so much. And I did that this camp. I put in the work. I was there 7 days a week, almost every week. So I did the work, and I was excited.
Awesome. So, Sam, somebody pointed out to me on X that you've actually been an underdog in every one of your UFC fights. Are you aware of that?
All 10, yes.
That is insane. That is awesome.
I'm not mad at it at all.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. Going into the fight, I thought it was, I don't even know if you realize how diverse you really looked. Like you won, you controlled her in the second. I was pretty confident you won too. I usually watch the fights on mute. Not that I have anything against the commentary crew. I know one of the guys pretty well.
Buzz off.
He's pretty ugly, but whatever. But I loved how, especially in the first round, how you finished the exchanges. You were at the end of everything. You put a stamp. Like I said, you pressed enter. And then the way you wrote her out, you shot under some punches in the second. So was that part of the game plan? What was the game plan going into the fight against Luciana?
Yeah, definitely. So she had me by almost 2 inches as far as reach goes and height. So me being a pressure fighter, the whole game plan, get in on her hips, stay in, be first and be last on all the exchanges, and do not let her stay at range and throw kicks and throw knees like she did, and then get the elbows off. So the whole game plan was to get in, shoot. I've been working with Kyle Crutchmer, and shout out to him and Charles Bird to help my striking out quite a bit, being first and being last. And we're keep building. I think I keep showing a different fighter every single time I fight. And so I'm excited to keep building on that and throw more than, 2 punches at a time. I was kind of hard on myself looking back at it. And in the third round, I was throwing 1 and 2s. And so she caught me with a couple uppercuts. She caught me with the long knees. So I need to do better about that. But, I think I showed a lot of growth in this fight, and I'm really excited to showcase that.
Absolutely. So any injuries? I mean, I see you're a little roughed up in the face. But...
My nose is like, you guys see that I have a big old hump in it, and that thing always takes a beating. So
yeah. See, I got cut here once in a fight, and it just has dead skin, and it just cuts like every 2 other weeks. Even though I'm just doing jiu-jitsu now, like it's just like, oh, there it goes. It's just. Yep. So you should just name it, because it's going to be there forever now.
It's my little shark's tooth. It's pretty big. My beak.
Sam, you strike me as the type who played sports your entire life.
Yes.
There's just some females that I just look at and I go, she played softball, she played soccer, she was hooping. Like, what all sports did you play, and where did you excel at the most?
You named all my sports.
See, I know I can see you on the court.
You struck me for a lacrosse player, honestly. So
I had not okay. So that's the only sport that I haven't played. But I grew up with 3 older brothers, so I was constantly chasing them around, acting like a little tomboy, running around with the boys, and just trying to keep up. So I played soccer when I was little. Played softball junior high. I actually got pulled up to varsity in junior high. And then the track coach found me. And then that's whenever they were like, what are you doing with the softball thing? Come run. And because I was the one stealing bases. I was the one, switch hitting and everything else. So I love softball. I love basketball. I love track. That's probably, my biggest love. But yeah, I was always outdoors, barefoot, running around, chasing, keeping up with the boys.
what was your event in track?
Steeplechase, the 5,000, the mile. Yeah,
more steeplechase. What is the steeplechase?
So steeplechase is it's pretty fun. It's basically a 2-mile race. It's a little bit less than 2 miles, but you go over hurdles or barriers that they're long poles, and you have to jump over it, and then you have a water pit out in each lap on the track. So it's pretty intense. I'll Google it.
What
Google
track and field team does this? I never heard of this before.
It's really only in college. Steeplechase. They don't really have it too much in high school, but in high school I was a 2-miler, and 800-meter runner.
So when I was in sophomore in high school, the track coach tried to get me to come out in the spring because I was wrestling in the winter, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then they had me do the 800, and I was like, all right. I was like, and I remember the first time we did it, I blew everyone out of the water. I'm like, yo, I hope that's practice. And then they're like, you got 6 more of those. I was like, this is nuts. And I remember on spring break, my sophomore year, I had my tonsils taken out. I'm like, I can't wait for my tonsils to that surgery because I got to get a fuck away from this bullshit. I was like, it was so nuts. Running sucks. And then everything else that I tried pole vaulting, and I couldn't go upside down. I was like, I'm just not meant to be a track star.
You did that too?
I did that too. Yep.
Oh my God.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. I did it all. I should have been like a heptathlete in college, but
yeah.
I just decided to go a distance.
Where did you go to school?
So I went to Wofford, and then I also went to the University of South Carolina.
Okay. And Wofford's in South Carolina too, right?
It is. It's up in Spartanburg.
Right. And that's where you're from. You're from South Carolina.
Yep.
Okay. Well, so how did you make your way out to Dallas?
Man, so kind of a long story. So once I graduated from the University of South Carolina, then I got on with a company that was relocating to Seattle. And so I was doing accounting work for them and was a boring accountant. Actually, Chuck Liddell's an accountant too. So I
You're
guess
a good company.
That's your discipline, accounting?
Yeah. And so I moved out to Seattle, lived out there for a while, and was basically just going to like a 24-hour fitness and working out, and then doing my 9 to 5. And then I met a guy that I rented a house from, and we used to, go watch footballs on Saturday, and they were Michigan State fans. So he went to an MMA gym, and he said, "Hey, Sam, do you work out?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just basically running and lifting weights and doing my 9 to 5. And he was like, "Do you want to try kickboxing?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot." And the rest is kind of history. I came to the gym and fell in love with it. And then after like about 9 months, the coach at the time asked me if I wanted to compete. And I said, "Yeah, I've never been in a fist fight before. I've just been, but I've been competing my whole life." And, I still had that itch. I was bored out of my mind working my 9 to 5. And so once I had my first fight, I was hooked. I was like, how can I do this all the time? I want to be doing this. And so basically I was training before work, training after work, and just living in the gym pretty much.
Awesome.
There you go. Yeah, I love the story.
Yeah, seriously.
So you're definitely a competitor.
Yep.
Do you get nervous before fights? And if so, do you revert back to just, okay, this is just a competition?
I just get excited.
Yeah.
I'm at a point in my life where I've fallen back in love with just competing. I think I put a lot of pressure on myself early in my career to make sure I won. And now I'm just kind of have the mindset of, hey, just fall in love with it. You know, you love to compete. Let's just go out there and compete and do exactly what you do. So, you know, I think as I've gotten older, it's changed quite a bit, and I just love to compete.
So this win over the weekend, what did that do for you in terms of your career? And I got one more, and then I'll let Ryan close it out. But so this win, what did it do for your career? And then who do you want to fight?
You know, I think this win really skyrockets me. I think you know, and even Coach Safe said it. He said, you really put, you know, who you are on the map this weekend. You know, I've always been the underdog. I've been the underdog in all 10 fights. And so, you know, I kind of stamped that I'm here to stay and I'm here to compete no matter what. I'm going to give it my all. And I just think I'm becoming a better athlete. I think my mindset's sharper. As I get older, I'm just becoming a better person overall. So, you know, Coach Safe and I talked over the weekend, and I really don't care who I fight. I'm excited. I want to make a run at the top 15. I think I've got strong momentum behind me, and I'm just excited to see who's next. That was actually my third fight on this contract, for my third contract. So, you know, I want to sign, you know, a new contract, my fourth one, and let's see who they give me. I'm just anybody. I don't care.
Well, that's awesome that you keep going. You know, extending your contract that much is phenomenal in itself. So a timetable, like you're pretty healthy. When do you think you're going to go in there again? Like later in the summer, the fall?
You know, I think they've already got the international fight week solidified, but my birthday is actually June 28th, and I would love to fight in June and then one more time this year. So if I get 3 fights this year, man, I feel like that would be a big success.
Beautiful. All right. So we actually started this conversation last week with fighters, but any hobbies outside of fighting? Any sports you watch?
Yeah, I'm actually a track and field coach at a small private school, high school.
That's
so
awesome.
I've got my kids, they're on spring break right now. So they were funny. They threw a watch party for me, and then they were all congratulating me. And I was like, well, get ready, because next week's going to be hell for you guys. Let's get. So I said, break while it lasts. But no, I think we've got a couple meets for middle school and high school next week. So that's my hobby, being a coach and being an athlete.
You are a busy woman. You watching any TV shows right now, or anything streaming?
I like trash TV. I'm excited actually for March Madness. That's kind of like my one thing. I think Duke's gonna go pretty far, and my girls, my Carolina Gamecocks, they're always in it. So I'm excited to root for them.
Do you know Dawn Staley?
No, I've never met her. I've always wanted to meet Dawn Staley. Yeah, I think she's just an awesome coach. She's freaking. It's unbelievable what she's done with that program. She's a killer coach.
Yeah. I've been following her since she was at University of Virginia. I was in high school. She was in college, and I used to love watching her play. She was a savage basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
She is a basketball player and an even better coach.
I love it. Well, Sam, we are not going to hold you up. You know, we like to get you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. It's really good to talk to you.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate you.
Thanks for coming. Congratulations on your win. Hope to catch up with you soon, and best of luck in all that you do. Have fun and kick their ass on the damn track and field.
Yeah.
Damn kids.
I will. Thanks, guys.
All right. See you later.
It's so nice when we have good people. I mean, not that we've ever had bad people on. Well, Glover sucks, but everyone else is pretty cool.
Yeah.
no, but I love that story. You know, I love how she's hustling. It's really awesome when we have stories like that on.
Yeah, well, not only just a story, but like you said, a good person, right? Like she's a good person.
She's working with kids.
Yeah, and you could tell, like, at some level, she at least wanted to talk to us.
Yeah. She wasn't driving.
You know what I'm saying? Driving, and
I was like, wow, you're sitting down inside. It's so nice.
Yeah, because Mo was trying to sell me on, and I have to bring this up because he was the main event in the card that Sam fought on, Marvin Vettori. I interviewed him last week.
Okay,
and it didn't seem like he wanted to do it, and he just was standoffish and just. And I was asking Mo, and Mo be like, "Yo, he's cool as shit. He's cool as shit." And I'm like, "Dude, man, I haven't gotten that vibe." You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I've seen him at ATT, and he's like one of the boys. He's vibing. Like maybe just he got nervous. Or I don't know. Like, but
Maybe he's
I
like,
know
"You
what
used
you
to
mean,
be
though.
ATT, and now you're not." So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I don't get that vibe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I haven't gotten the vibe. So, but I'm gonna take Mo's word for it and not hold it too much against him, and give him a shot. But I'm
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I just for whatever reason, man, I don't get it. But let's go back. Let's go back to the fight, man. Him and Roman Dolidze. What'd you think?
Yeah. I mean, I thought I felt like Marvin just wasn't pulling the trigger. And I don't. It's not, and I don't say that in a sense like Marvin lost. Like a lot of people, like there's times people, oh, Roman didn't win that fight, Marvin lost that fight. I thought Roman won that fight, but I just felt like Marvin just wasn't pulling the trigger, and that's almost like what Alex Pereira is getting beat up for against Ankalaev. I just feel like he just wasn't pulling the trigger, and who knows? Was it ring rust? Who knows? The new camp? Who knows? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely got outfought. Like at the end of the day, like he got outfought.
Yeah.
My question in terms of like pulling a trigger, and this is something that I can't fully remember. Like, I'm thinking back to like my old fighting career, and I can't remember this ever being a thing for me. And it could have been, I just never recognized it at the time. But I'm also wondering if when they're out there, do they think they're doing more than they are?
Well, I've been there, and speaking of Mo, so I remember I really wanted to get my striking down, but I was starting to do too much of my striking. As crazy as it sounds, I should have been boxing more so than kickboxing. Like as a
Mhm.
grappler, I should have been developing my
Yeah.
hand. Anyway, but then I started to develop my striking, but then I was like caught in the middle of like I wasn't my wrestling and my grappling wasn't as crisp, and it just showed in sparring. I was just like, I'm just not doing anything, and Mo just grabs me once. He goes, "Dog, you vanilla." And I was like, I knew exactly but that's what it is. Like sometimes you start doing new shit, and like maybe the game plan's just a little outside your comfort zone, a little too much coloring outside the lines, and you lose your identity. And maybe that's what happened, and
Yeah.
you got
That's a
like,
that's a real thing. Like you get
like
lost with in all that stuff.
you think he's worried about a sensational grappler taking him down, so maybe he's just overly worried about the takedown defense and he's not letting his hands go. Something like that. I mean, you were a lot more natural fighter than I was, but that's something that I had to go through. So that could have been what it was.
Mm.
Mhm.
Well, I wouldn't have been worried about the takedown from Roman all that much. Like
Mhm.
Roman is not a he's not a
Yeah,
great takedown
I
guy.
meant like going to the ground in some aspect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
I'd have been much more concerned with Roman pulling guard.
Yeah, maybe the
Yeah,
clinch
that's
work. Who knows?
yeah. But yeah, so I mean, congratulations to Roman Dolidze for getting revenge. No hate on
Mhm.
nobody, but just it's always he seemed like a solid dude though. Like he came on the post show afterwards
Yeah.
and on the post show, I asked him about the eye pokes and all that stuff, and
Mhm.
he was like, "I have to go back and watch it because like I don't even know. I don't remember. I didn't do it intentionally. I,
Mhm.
I think literally he's just in terms of fighting, just a spaz. So
Yeah.
he can't control himself. Like he's just like ah.
Mhm.
He gets
I
to that place.
it sucks with the eye pokes, but to me, like I don't like we've talked about this before, and like so you're the one who said it, and it makes me like they should be penalized more. Um, when they're penalized, they'll work on not being penalized, so that will force fighters to focus on their technique and keep their hands closed.
Yeah.
Um, I remember when they really when they really started coming down on it. I remember when I had John McCarthy in 2014. He's my ref, and he goes, "All right, we're getting rid of this John Jones thing where he's here, no more framing." And I was like, "All right, what if I'm framing a kick going backwards?" And he cuts me off. He goes, "Keep your fucking hands closed." That's John. But but no, if you enforce it, they're going to be realized, and they're going to recognize it. And I think that it comes from people who don't have a proper striking background. They're sparring with big gloves, and they're so used to those pillows on their hands that they're sparring like this and they're throwing hands like that, as opposed to forcing themselves to crush the egg at the end of the punch. Really squeeze it and extend your punches. I think when they fix that from being penalized for not having that technique, it won't go away totally, but it'll get mitigated.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And there might even be some growing pains, right? Where guys may feel a little hesitant to throw because they're just, for whatever reason, concerned with getting taken down or not having that safety blanket of leaving their hands open and panicking. So there may be a little growing pains there, but I think that give it a couple events where guys are getting penalized right away for eye pokes.
Yeah.
Man, you're going to see it change. You'll see it stop. Like, people are going to train better and they're going to be prepared for it.
Wasn't no eye poking one of the original rules in UFC? Eye gouging.
Yeah. See, now that you say eye gouging, that sounds a lot. It makes it easier to
when I first saw that was the first time I read the word gouging. And I remember reading it and I go, Dad, what's eye gouging? And he goes, it's gouging, you dumbass. And so now I never forget it's eye gouging. But it's funny, like, but look how much the sport has changed and had growing pains since that. You know, we could enforce eye pokes.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about that. So what about this weekend? I'm actually leaving for London tomorrow. I'm double dipping. I'm working the card on the broadcast, and I'm cornering Sean Brady.
Oh yeah, I was wondering if you had any involvement with that. So you're Clark Kent and Superman again.
Yeah, I mean, literally, because on the post show it's on the pre-show it's me, Karen Bryant, and Paul Felder. On the post show it's going to be Karen Bryant, me, and Michael Bisping. And Michael Bisping, he's obviously commentating. So no matter what, like as soon as it's over, we both have to run upstairs to do the post show. And he has to do like field stuff. So I'm going to have to get up there first. So I'm going to have to like literally be wearing my clothes underneath my fight kit so that I can run upstairs and just kind of pull it off and throw the jacket on.
Man, if only the UFC could afford more staff so you guys don't have to be running back and forth all the time. You know what I'm saying? No, you should get a scene where you're like ripping something off like Clark Kent to Superman. You should try to figure that out. Yeah, that'd be a great reel that we're trying to get going. But yeah, no, I love the main event. I hope Sean gets inside. You know, I won't ask you too much of the game plan, and I guess I should take advantage of that because you can't be like, no, I don't agree with you because it's going to keep you off. But no, I think that he's got good striking, linear striking that could get around a lot of Leon's stuff. I do think if he stays at range, he might fall victim of a head kick like Usman did. So if he doesn't get comfortable at range and he just stays moving correctly, he'll be fine. I don't see him. I know that Leon's had some success with takedowns of late. I don't really see that being that much of a threat to Sean. Sean's pretty stout, and against somebody who's striking and keeping the volume up on you, it's not that easy to get in with if you don't have real true wrestling and leg attacks. But I think if Leon is able to stay on his horse in his own right and create angles and keep Sean, and he could point himself away to a victory.
Yeah, it's amazing how like this fight is so easy to kind of dissect, right? When you look at both guys, it's like, all right, definitely Sean has to get in, and not definitely, but Leon staying at range and being able to pick them apart. Yeah, I mean, it seems so easy and apparent, but like playing that chess game, that's what makes the chess game even harder. Because you got to really break it down even to its minuscule pieces to be able to get that off.
Well, to your point, what you just said, I think that round 1 and round 4 are going to be completely different fights. You're going to see massive adjustments in the corners. I mean, there's going to be plan A and plan 1A. You know.
Yeah. So it's just going to be determined by how the other one responds to their opening moves, and this is what I love to do, man. I love the chess match of it.
Yeah,
and I like Leon. Like, Leon's a good dude, man. I like him. I've kind of kept in touch with him through the years every so often. But hey, this is the game, man.
Yeah,
I got to figure you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I got to figure you out. When and actually in 2019, Tyron was supposed to fight him. So I studied him a lot back then and been watching him over the years. So he's gotten better too. Like his being able to fight from switch stances has gotten better. His wrestling has gotten better. His offensive wrestling has gotten better. So
I was just going to ask you, what's the difference between Leon now and Leon for 2019? And
yeah, those things he's gotten better. So
Mhm.
Yeah, and skill wise, man, he might be the best guy. Like skill wise, with his body type, might be the best guy in the division. Yeah, you know, but
he's quick.
He's really quick and he's long. Yeah. So I love that we got our work cut out, but I couldn't ask for a better guy than Sean Brady to go up to challenge this with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that's me being selfish, and you know, this is me trying to put together a game plan to beat Leon, which is I am, but that's obviously Sean's career. But I mean, Sean is so prepared. He's so mentally tough, so strong in terms of physically and mentally that I couldn't think of a more prepared person to fight Leon.
This is the best match, the worst matchup for Leon we could see right now. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, for sure.
So what happens if either one wins this fight? What do you think? Let's say Leon wins, say Sean wins. What happens with either of them?
That's a tough one, man. I think it depends on how they win too. The problem with Sean Brady is that he's never really been in the spotlight. He hasn't been in the spotlight enough to be like, all right, I want the title shot, and for them to take it serious. So they'll probably make him fight another one.
A rematch with Bilal or Bilal Muhammad.
Well, if Bilal loses, right? Like
right.
So depending on how things shake out, but then there's also Shavkat. So depending on how things shake out, it just depends. But I'm sure they'll have Brady fight one more before a title shot. Same thing with Leon too. I think even though Leon defended his belt twice and was good, something about him, I just think they don't trust him as champion. And he doesn't do numbers, so I'm sure that they would make him fight another fight before he got a title shot.
You got that boogeyman Shavkat Rakhmonov in the division. It's like welterweight is such an interesting division because it's top heavy, but it's not, and there's no you could argue that a lot of different people given the situation could leapfrog the other.
Yeah, I know. That's why that's why no one wants to fight each other. Yeah. Because I think they recognize that. So everybody's kind of afraid to fight each other. Not afraid, but they don't want to fight each other. And they definitely don't want to fight backwards because they're like, I don't want to lose my spot. That's why it's always been that way. No one wants to lose their spot.
Well, it's a big fight for the division this weekend.
Yeah.
For sure. You know what else I think this weekend? I'm interested in the Molly McCann fight. She's back in London, but I think that's an interesting matchup.
Hold on. Tell me who she's fighting.
Who's she? She got a new opponent.
Okay, all right.
It's a difficult name. It's a difficult name.
It's Smith.
No,
no. I know you're talking about. It's Tassara.
Yeah. So McCann. I don't want to call her by the wrong name. Yeah. Alexia Tenera. Alexia Tenera. Anyway, so she's got solid striking, but she's very cookie cutter. Another one, but I don't think that Molly. I think that Molly, with all her faults, has great head movement to power punches, and I think that's a horrible matchup for Alexia. So I think it's going to be interesting to see. But if Molly loses this fight, it's because Alexia is just jabbing and jabbing and jabbing. And it's going to be very boring, and I think that's a career for Molly.
Well, I thought that you were excited to see Molly because she was originally scheduled to fight Estella Nunes, rather. And you remember her back from the old top team. She used to She used to train with Sapo and them.
Yeah. I remember her.
Yeah, so that's why I thought you was interested in this fight. That's why I was like, he doesn't know Molly got a new opponent.
No. Actually, I forgot that Estella was fighting originally, but no, I remember her.
Yeah, but you're right though. Molly, she's got good power punch, and she's such a good athlete. I mean, she's like Sam, right?
Yeah.
Like, really, like grew up playing all kind of sports, So she just has to kind of figure out how to translate that to consistent wins over and over. Like that's been the issue. Just small little things that you're learning on the job, and you fail in front of everybody, so it always kind of feels and looks bad. But she just got to find it, and I think she can find it.
Yeah, just get back to her identity. It's
her identity.
We talk about athletes doing other sports. I think I think we talked about this before. Like good sports, like the transition to MMA. I mean, there's the obvious. We talked about like football for heavyweights is good, but I'm actually, I don't really care that my son fights. Actually, I hope he doesn't. But we're gonna get him into gymnastics because overall we feel like that's like a really good foundation.
Yeah. So tell me, like what foundations you think are good? It's obviously like we talked before. It's kind of weight class specific.
Yeah.
In a way.
Overall, is that the question? Overall.
But overall,
gymnastics and swimming.
I was thinking, for the same reason why you're probably thinking swimming, I was thinking soccer.
Soccer too. Yeah. Actually, that's another thing we're looking for. Son, soccer is fucking crazy, but I feel like swimming is a little bit more upper body and core, and maybe not core, but it also kind of saves your legs. But of course, I didn't think about saving my legs until I turned like 33, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
I can tell you what I would choose over any other sport to take a fighter from.
What?
Dancing.
Yeah.
If you can dance, you can fight.
Yeah. Well, I can't dance.
So. Well, but not to say that if you can't dance, that doesn't mean you can't fight. I'm just saying that if you can dance, it's probably going to be a lot easier to teach you how to fight, especially if you can do different type of dances and even break dance. Like if you can break dance, I'll make you a tremendous grappler.
Yeah, but dancing is serious. You ever go to like? Well, I mean, I've been to a salsa dance. I've never salsa danced, but that shit is pretty difficult. The way they move, and then they're doing it for like a half hour. I know like some like capoeira is kind of like dancing, but I know whenever the capoeira guys would come in and start training, and they're all just come here, please.
Yeah.
But like the dancers, though, they're the only dancer I really train with, but they have this weird elusiveness about them where they're loose, but they're strong. I don't even know if that makes sense.
No, but isn't that how you want to be when you're fighting? Yeah. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You want to be loose and strong. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Is the coordination, and to be able to coordinate your body in dance is so difficult. It teaches you footwork, balance, muscle coordination, like all those muscle dexterity as well. All those different things that you need in fighting. I'm like, I'll take it. Give me someone who can do that.
So, if Carlton Banks was going to fight, he would have tore it up.
He might have tore it up.
I'm
sure we could, that little dance, I'm sure we could kind of freak that into something. That's a feint right there. You know what I'm
saying? That's your guys' next looking for a fight episode. You guys got to go to some nightclub and be like, you want to fight? Let's go.
So I don't know if you know Anna Crutchfield. She's like 5-0 as a pro right now. She's really, or 5-1, I think. Really good striker. She trains in Alabama with the guys who used to train with Walt Harris.
Okay. No, I don't know her.
Really solid. She's originally from South Carolina, but anyway, and she used to train with like Wonder Boy. But anyway, really solid. But she used to do like, I think it was like river dancing or clog dancing or some shit.
Irish step dancing.
Yeah. And I was like,
my sister,
and like she actually like did a little bit of it on the mat. I was like, God damn, like her feet were just like, I was like, no wonder you got such good feet. Because like if you can do this, moving around a damn octagon is nothing.
So my sister used to do it. My sister was like really involved in it, like placed at the national level when she was little. Then she got away from it. But now that I'm older, I haven't seen it. It was Irish step dance, but back in the day, it was river dancing. Remember that? Or Lord of the Dance? I
Yeah.
want to go back and watch that now. I'm sure I would appreciate that a lot more now than 25 years, 30 years later.
Damn river dancing.
Michael Flatley, that was his name. I'm gonna send you videos.
Any other fight stand out?
Oh yeah, Jan Blachowicz versus Carlos Ulberg.
Yeah.
I think that I'd like to see Jan just do more. I can't explain it. Like I just want to see him like.
Well, how much more can you think? How much more do you want him to do, man? He's 42.
Dude, whatever. You're whatever. Just do it. You're in there. Fucking do it. There's no age, but there's no Masters division. You gotta do it. I kind of I like him in that fight, but like he's 42. Fighters age overnight. Shit, does time come up for him? What do you think?
So I spoke to both of them today.
Uh-huh.
And they both had both of them really sweet guys though, but have very different demeanors and opinions towards the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like Carlos Ulberg was obviously confident, but more on the lines of, it's going to be a great fight. I'm looking forward to, doing my best, getting the win and moving forward. And Jan was like, he's very charismatic.
Mm-hmm. He's funny.
Charismatic and funny. And he was more like, I'm gonna knock him out in the third round. I'm getting my belt back. I don't care who has it. It was, but all in a fun, playful way, right?
Yeah.
But you could just kind of see the differences in the two. But I'm leaning towards Jan. I think Jan has that Glover thing.
Yeah.
In terms of, you said the word earlier, identity.
Mm-hmm.
Like he knows his identity so well, and he stays within that. He's got great defense. He understands distance really well. I'm leaning towards him. The only thing that I'm afraid of, like you said, like if he can't see the punches, right? Like if the age has caught up to him overnight and he can't see the punches, then that's going to be a wrap. But other than that, man, like if he still has some vision left, I'm leaning towards Jan.
All right. So there is one fight, and I'm gonna let you guess which fight it is before. But this is the X factor. Your guess fighters. It all depends on which fighter does not show up.
On which fighter does not show up?
Yeah, that's the theme. That's the X factor. Which fight am I talking about on this card?
Leon.
No. Kevin Holland and Gunnar Nelson. Gunnar Nelson.
Oh my God.
Forgot about that guy.
I loved Gunnar Nelson. Gunnar Nelson had some savage ground and pound. He was a great man. I wish he was active. I don't know what happened. Now he might have aged out a bit.
In 2 years.
He might have aged out a bit, I think.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I mean, he used to be really active. He was always fighting. And
I forgot Kevin Holland and Gunnar Nelson was on this card. Actually,
it's a good card.
It's a great card. Nathaniel Wood, he's always fun to watch.
Oh yeah, I like Nathaniel Wood.
Yeah, but I think Gunnar Nelson beats Kevin.
I think so too, but who doesn't show up?
But you're right. Like if Kevin shows up, Kevin might knock him out. But if Kevin shows up, he's gonna get beat.
if I'm Kevin, I'm looking real funky, and I'm launching a lot of straight punches because I want to see what Gunnar's going to do to it. And I think that's a good strength for Kevin. But
Gunnar fights so intelligently.
Yeah.
That it could be. I mean, it could be him take Kevin down, pass his guard.
And then he could notice something. Like that's another thing about him. Sorry to cut you off. Like you said, he fights so intelligently. Like I've seen him in fights where it's like, oh, I guess the game plan is get him against the cage and take him down, and then he gets the takedown, then bam, he's striking. Yeah. I mean, that's gonna be an interesting fight. It's gonna be an interesting fight.
Yeah, it's just like Kevin's so talented, man, but he just sometimes he just doesn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see, man. Regardless, I got to root for the American.
Yeah.
and the reason why I say that, and this is the last thing I want to ask you about, this Conor McGregor at the White House.
Yeah, I saw some clips of that. I didn't see what he said, but bro, I'm like, man, just go away. Just go away. And even like that was even, we don't talk politics, but with everything going on, like I don't give a fuck about Conor McGregor at the White House.
I know, it's like I don't give a fuck about Conor McGregor anywhere. But
yeah.
But what makes the whole thing for me was like, first off, like Ireland was like, yo, he don't speak for us.
Yeah.
But he went on there and just bashed the Irish government and tried to play like the Robin Hood good guy, that he was going to come seek Donald Trump's help to
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, to rid the problems in Ireland. I'm like, dude, we got our own problems. Don't be coming over here with your bullshit.
You spent enough time here. You know what the hell's going on here. And with everything going on in Europe, nobody cares about Ireland right now. I'm Irish, but I don't know. Maybe because it was St. Patrick's Day, they thought it'd be cute. But from what I understand, like he's not really well loved in Ireland like he was 10 years ago.
That's everybody says he was trying to move out of Ireland. He was talking about moving out of Ireland to here.
Yeah, that makes sense. I remember I first found out like someone grew up in the same city that he was at, and they were like, man, nobody likes that guy. He's got more kids than you can imagine. Like he's always getting into fights and drunk. Like he's not a good representation. He's not a solid individual. And like whatever, people have their shit, but I don't know. Maybe it's just a thing about Conor just needing to be in the spotlight but not wanting to fight.
That's what it is, man. He just needs to be in the spotlight. But to me, I don't get the society that we live in, that we've made this man a hero, right? After all he's done, and people still regard him as a hero. And why? Because he knocked out Jose Aldo in 13 seconds? Because he won the UFC lightweight title against Eddie Alvarez and Madison? Like, that's what we're doing here?
The hype behind him in 2015 was, and granted it was 10 years ago, and then he did movies, and I remember watching football and Troy Aikman calling him the white Muhammad Ali, which was stupid, but I'm like, people are making that comparison because I guess he called his wins or whatever, but when you make that comparison to Muhammad Ali, like people want to believe that they still have that. Especially he's kind of getting lucky that, and I hate saying it, that the star power is kind of fading a little bit, so it's kind of giving him a little extra life in mixed martial arts or combat sports for that matter, bare knuckle boxing. But I don't know why. Like I think part of it is the media still rams it down our throats, and we're in this situation where we got to talk about the why. Like that's what it is. I don't really know anybody. Like I don't know anybody that's a huge Conor McGregor fan. Like people at work and stuff like that, they're never like, what about that Conor McGregor guy? You know what I mean? Like when you talk to anybody, did they stop you?
No, no.
Well, I think it's the media. The media is the Conor fans that just rub it down our throats.
Well, and another thing is that I think MMA in the grand scheme of things is probably so small to other sports that they just don't realize that Conor ain't shit no more.
Yeah. That's the guy. Like, yep, that makes sense.
So that's why it's easier for the media to press it on people that he is the shit, because they don't realize. Because I knew a dude who I worked with at ESPN West Palm, and he had no idea that Conor had like assault allegations. He had no idea. I was like, dude. He's like, no, I thought he was still winning fights. I'm like,
no,
really?
He got more assaults than wins in the last 5
years. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But we put this dude on this pedestal, man, and allowed him this spotlight to just do all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't get it, man. It makes me want to just quit and just go, man, I can't deal with this no more.
Well, I mean, the UFC, this is the monster they created. They got to get behind. Well, they're getting behind other fighters. There really is stars in the UFC still. Like Sean O'Malley, Alex Pereira. Yeah, they're not champions right now, but and I feel like people are getting educated about the actual fights now. So, but yeah, I don't know. I hope that within the next year or so that just kind of fades away, because it's just annoying. He just says dumb shit on X that people always tweet because his name is click worthy.
Yeah. It bothers me so bad, man. It bothers me. I can't deal with it. But Ryan, you my dog. You know what I'm saying? He not my dog. You my dog. Arr.
This is awesome. Hey, yeah, so I don't say it enough, man. Thank you for doing this podcast. I love doing this podcast with you, man. Thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for appreciating that. But listen, stop making it all funny and weird. I'm getting this tingly feeling inside. But appreciate you, Sam Hughes, for coming on the show.
Yeah.
And if you enjoyed the show, make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your friends. And we'll be back next week. And on that note, this court is adjourned.